Night Stalker is a great name for a nocturnal, man-hungry, mutant hound dog. However, it's a terrible name for an Uber driver. Hi, my name is Night Stalker, and I'll be your driver this evening, and you'll be my obsession for the next several months. So buckle up. This mod adds a new species of enemy to the Commonwealth called a Night Striker, which is based loosely off of the Night Stalkers from Fallout New Vegas. These are not the type of animals you can domesticate and take home as a pet for the kiddies, mainly because they'll bite your face. Now they seem very aggressive, and if I had to guess, I'd bet they fart on crowded elevators and blame old people. Those twisted evil fucks. Now the Night Striker is known for striking its prey primarily at night, which makes it far more dangerous than the day huggers. Now these vicious beasts are to be avoided at all costs, and whatever you do, don't look them in the eyes. They view that as a direct threat, and they will power hump your face to assert their dominance. And you don't want that, okay? I can assure you. That's how my cousin Joey went blind. Now, all of the Night Strikers deal and are immune to poison damage, just like their Mojave ancestors. These creatures come in 5 different variants, each with their own unique textures and abilities. There are also 5 new loot items that are unique to the Night Strikers. And if all that didn't get you all hot and sweaty, then know that there's even some lore that can be found on these canine freaks in an unmarked location on the map, which basically maps out their entire origin story. This is a really cool mod that is sure to evil up anyone's playthrough of the game. I rate this mod that new haircut you're kinda on the fence about.
What do you think? Does it look okay?
I think there's a little boy inside of all of us when we think about superpowers in video games. Hypothetically speaking, that is. I don't think there's actually like a little boy going around butt-fucking everyone thinking about superpowers. That would be insane. And also super wrong on so many levels. But it would lead to a lot of questions. Simply put, superpowers are awesome. And before this mod, they were basically non-existent in Fallout 4. However, with this mod installed, it will almost certainly change the way you play the game, creating entirely new builds, playthroughs, and playstyles. Now you and your enemies can have superpowers. This mod adds 104 categories of superpowers with varied effects under each power with new scripts, effects, and meshes. It includes powers like teleportation, flight, actual time travel, and so much more. Now, in order to gain these powers, you must defeat enemies. Certain enemies have more of a chance of giving you special powers, like for instance highly irradiated enemies like the Children of Adam. Either way, you're gonna have to bounce around the world space to collect all these new, cool superpowers. Now, the only downside to having these sweet superpowers is now people are gonna want to treat you differently because you're a superhero and all. You know, pointing at you in public, taking photos of you for no reason, stalking you in the men's bathroom while you're taking a shit. You know, usual celebrity stuff. I always think that maybe if I had superpowers in real life, that maybe bus drivers would let me ride the bus without the exact change every time. You know, have you guys ever tried to ride the bus and you didn't have exact change, so the bus driver wouldn't let you on? Yeah, it happened to me yesterday. So me and my pet bear had to walk to the corner store. It was really inconvenient. Anyways, I rate this mod one lady getting sprinklered right in the butthole. Is there anything more evil than a cloud filled to the tits with nuclear radiation? I mean, that cloud can kill an entire populace with its precarious precipitation. Well, this mod makes the weather in Fallout look and feel more dangerous in the game, adding all new weather systems as well as modifying other ones to make them more extreme. Weather has a strange effect on people, and it's the one thing that we feel comfortable talking about with complete strangers. Now, extreme changes in weather are a huge cause for concern. Just look at global warming and how it upsets people's whole situation. Is it hot? Is it cold? Who the fuck knows? So we can only assume that if one of these weather systems actually come to fruition, then Bill Nye's gonna shit a chicken, okay? Because these weathers make global warming look like a bitch. Now, this mod adds 8 completely new weather systems in the game. There's the Firestorm, which really gives her nuts in the storm department. Bit of an overachiever, if you ask me. There is Nuclear Winter, which is chillier than your typical Boston winter. There's the Mindstorm, and despite what you might believe, it's not a bad acid trip, it's actually happening. There's the Ion Storm, which storms down ions like it's nobody's business. There's the Time Rift, which rifts time, obviously. There's the alternate snowstorm, which is just great for getting people excited during the holidays. And there's the heat wave, which will give you and everyone else in the Commonwealth a sweaty bum crack. There's just so many beautiful new weathers to choose from. So many. This mod is a great addition to the game and one that completely changes the way you see Fallout 4. I rate this mod the moment you realize that somebody's eaten all of your strawberry ice cream. That's crazy! Someone ate all of it? Wonder who it was. This mod adds the ability to let your frustration out in the game without hitting Marcy Long, which is also an effective way of getting your frustration out in the game. I should know, I've done it. Now with this mod installed, when you don't have a weapon equipped and you toss a grenade, you will flip people off instead of throwing a grenade. This may seem like it doesn't have a ton of practical uses, but it really does. For example, you don't like that mailbox? Boom! Now it knows. Trash can Carla skanking up the joint? Got a prescription for that too. Boom! Take 2 a day and get a full night's rest. You want to make super mutants your bitch? One for you, and especially one for you. Or maybe you want to give Preston Garvey a reason to cry himself to sleep every night. Hey Preston! Yeah, the Minutemen are a bunch of bitches! Take a look at this! Yeah! Why? He's right. They are a bunch of bitches. And if all that stuff doesn't float your water wings, then when you're bored, you can stick that lonely finger up your bum for some after bedtime fun. Oh yeah, I've done it. Really, the uses are endless with this mod. This mod is one that most people aren't aware even exists, which is truly a shame, because you really haven't lived until you've given someone the finger in Fallout 4. I rate this mod one guy who doesn't quite understand how a chair works. Wow, this thing's really neat and comfy. Now, is there anything more terrifying than a Deathclaw? The answer is yes. Yes, there is. It's a mutated dolphin wearing an officer's hat holding a laser rifle. Mutated animals are definitely creepy, to say the least. And Fallout 4 has its fair share of creepy creatures to keep you on your toes as you progress through the game. However, M has managed to add new, even more terrifying mutations to the Commonwealth to really spice things up on the battlefield. Honestly, you've never really enjoyed Fallout 4 until you fight a giant robot donut that's trying to kill you because you're on a sugar-free diet. Now, although not all of these creatures are terrifying, they are all unique additions to the world, and some of them definitely fit the characteristics of what you might see in a horror movie. Take, for instance, this bloodworm fly. Now imagine you were brushing your teeth and you saw this thing coming at you in your peripheral vision. I think it's safe to say you'd shit your pajamas. Yeah. This mod adds over 30 new creatures to the Commonwealth. All of these creatures have their own unique look and function in the game, all of which appear to be mutations of mutations. So they're ugly as f***. Except for this little guy, he's cute enough to hug. Wow, he's great, isn't he? But the rest of them have had a few too many trips on the Frightfully Ugly Express. It's hard to imagine a creature that would actually look better if you hit them in the face with a shovel. Now, with this mod installed, you'll be able to see upwards of 30 of them, all revolting in their own right. I rate this mod one rich lady who realized that people are way more comfortable than cushions. And also one other person who realized they shouldn't trust rich people who offer them candy. I need to stop accepting candy from strangers. The Famished is a brand new creature in Fallout 4. It's got a similar body type to that of a Deathclaw, except it's like way shorter. It's possible it's not even tall enough to ride the fun roller coaster at the county fair. It's also uglier than a bruised penis taped to a glass window. It's got the face only a mother could love if that mother only loved things that look like they were birthed from a butthole. This thing's got some real unique characteristics, that's for sure. It's got pointy teeth that are way too far apart. I mean, 4 out of 5 dentists say this thing is ugly as fuck. It's got tiny little perverted eyes that just penetrate down to your undies on every glance. It's also got its tongue hanging out of its mouth like it's about to slurp up a spilt juice pack. I also can't be positive, but I'm pretty sure this thing farts when it's nervous. Let's just say I asked it some really sketchy questions and it kept covering up its butt cheeks, but I can't confirm that one. It could just be a coincidence. That and the constant smell of ass in the air could also just be a coincidence. Now, the models and textures for this creature just look amazing in the game and really bring this new creature to life. Now, the Famished are known for hate f***ing Radstag, so if you see those things around, then don't be surprised if one of these things pops out of the bushes and just donkey punches those radiated cattle right in front of you. Oh my. This is a really awesome mod that adds something completely new to Fallout 4, but in a way that's convincing on every level. This creature definitely looks like something you would have found in Fallout's world and could easily fit into the lore. I definitely recommend this mod if you want to spice up your game and add some more variety to the creatures you see while bobbing around the Commonwealth. I rate this mod the day that someone whips out a sketch pad at the zoo. Draw me like one of your French apes. Now, dog meat is one of the most lovable companions in Fallout 4. I mean, I like him so much, I put him between two giant hot dog buns and squirt mustard on his belly. There's just no ands, ifs, or buts about it. However, he has a weakness. That weakness is his soft, non-bulletproof body. It just baffles my butt cheeks when he gets into physical altercations with armed enemies and somehow comes out unscathed. Because we all know from science that bullets body soft tissue. So in order for dog meat to be truly immersive, he needs to lose that soft tissue and trade it in for something a little less fragile. Well, this mod author did just that and replaced dog meat with dog metal, which is like a cyborg version of dog meat with metal limbs and a steel outer shell, aka he has a metal dog body, making dog meat now look and feel as bulletproof as he clearly is in the game. Now, the mod author did an incredible job on this mod, as dog metal looks very immersive and realistic in the world space. This mod simply replaces dog meat by a dog bot. The dog bot does more damage, it has more HP, it has heavy armor variants, it's immune to radiation, it's immune to poison, it takes no fall damage. It's basically better than dog meat in every way you could possibly imagine. It even smells better. There are also multiple variants to choose from to keep this fresh and fun in the game. Now, there are 4 different variants of a dog metal that range from a robot-looking race dog to a metal husky, a beefy power armor-looking dog, and whatever the fuck this thing is. Looks like a goddamn dragon. I'm not sure what to make of that. Anyways, this is an absolutely wonderful mod that I'd highly recommend to anyone to play through the game. I rate this mod 1 gorilla pondering about people taking pictures at the zoo.
Wonder if they know I'm naked. Fucking perverts.
I feel like every kid wants to be an astronaut when they're little, except for maybe that one kid who says he wants to be Santa Claus on career day, unironically. Whatever happened to that kid, you might be wondering? Well, I'll tell you. It turns out he never did become Santa. Nope. Instead, he found gainful employment giving out HJs in the Walmart parking lot. Point is, most people want to travel to space. Well, good news. Now you'll be able to explore the lunar surface in Fallout 4 with this mod installed. All you have to do is head south of Concord. There you'll see a thingamabob and a spacesuit. Put on the spacesuit, then interact with the thingamajig, and before you know it, you'll be in outer space. This mod actually allows you to travel to the moon, and there's a little bit of a backstory there as well. Apparently, after a long time of working with the Institute, a scientist abandoned her bosses, with determination to uncover what the abandoned Project Lunar was. With all the evidence she could gather, she uncovers that the Institute were planning to take over the world by teaching koala bears Taekwondo. Just kidding! This mod only states that they were trying to travel to the moon. However, she devises a way to tune a teleporter to one of the old transmitters on the moon. However, before she can get there, she was killed! Oh no! So as luck would have it, you can find that transmitter and then off to the moon you go. Remember to bring a sandwich. Now, on the lunar surface, you can do a small quest that'll have you exploring the lunar surface and fighting off synths. Try to keep your spacesuit on at all times though, because if you don't, you'll suffocate and die immediately because space doesn't have oxygen. All in all, this is a really cool mod that lets you explore farther than ever thought possible in a Fallout game, and creates a cool little story to keep the vacuum of space a little less empty. I rate this mod that moment you realize your dog can't go anywhere without a car seat. Honey, the dog got sucked into the seat again. Let's face it, German Shepherd, despite their cool physique, their brilliant minds, and their uncanny loyalty, are just really super subpar when it comes to Fallout 4 followers. What this game really needed when you were wandering the Commonwealth is a dog with a big and a tiny body. I mean, come on, just look at this big floppy penis. Now, I'm no doctor, but that thing frightens me. That thing doesn't look proportional at all. Literally, it's like half the size of its body. Also, you'd want a dog that has an adorable face and is very good at playing dead. The type of canine companion that at the first sign of danger will sit there and lick its balls. So you're probably asking yourself right now, what type of dog could possibly do all those things and then some? Well, a pug, obviously. That's what the mod's about. What Fallout 4 really needed was a pug rather than a German Shepherd. Or maybe even both at the same time. Boom! Blew your f***ing mind, didn't I? Now, with this mod installed, you'll be able to have your very own pug companion. Pugs are really great dogs, not so much known for their protective skills or their survivalist skills, but boy are they cute as f***. and they're a great conversation starter, especially if they can do something miraculous like speak English. Girls go crazy for dogs that can speak just like human beings. I know what a lot of you guys are thinking. Pugs, they're not really the best guard dogs. And I get that. That makes sense. They're not the best guard dogs on the planet, sure. But if you teach them how to shoot a gun, they can be the deadliest. Remember that. Now, Pugme can do basically anything that Dogmeat can do, except for look like a German Shepherd. That's one trick he can't master no matter how many treats you throw right at his face. This mod adds either a standalone or replacer version of Pugmeat. The standalone Pugmeat essentially follows around Dogmeat like he's his only friend. The replacer version does exactly what you think it would, and it makes Pugmeat follow you around like any other follower would, replacing Dogmeat as a follower. You can also give Pugmeat dog-related gear, and he will be able to equip them similar to how Dogmeat does. And he can also carry shit well, just like any other follower. Go figure. Now, this dog mod does come in multiple sizes. There is a larger version, which is a bit bigger than Dogmeat, and there is also a mini version, which I think is a more accurate representation of pugs in terms of physical size. I used the mini version in my playthrough for two reasons. Firstly, I thought it was more immersive because pugs tend to be smaller dogs in real life, and secondly, because it's cute as fuck. Now, he may be little, but he does have a huge penis, which he uses to display dominance over other animals.
Who's your daddy, Dogmeat? Who's your daddy, Dogmeat? Who is it? Who's your daddy?
I think it's safe to say this mod is amazing. I rate this mod one photo of Dr. Seuss's new book, How Nicole Kidman Stole Christmas. Now, in order to be a good psychopath, you'll have to have a convincing environment to be a psycho in. This mod helps in that department by making the gore in the game a little more convincing or believable, making dead extremities look a little more realistic. The vanilla gore in the game is pretty good, but there are times when it just doesn't cut it. Especially if you get up close, you can notice that the textures are kind of blurry and out of focus. And the only thing worse than bad textures is owing money to a Deathclaw.
Yeah, I don't mean to pry, but, you guys are about 3 months behind on your rent.
Excuse me, are you implying that we're a bunch of losers?
No. I just figured, you might want to pay me because, like, I need that money for food.
Yeah, like I told you before, you'll have it soon.
That's what you said. Okay. I'll just come back tomorrow.
So this mod really sorts that issue and makes the gory parts a lot more crisp and three-dimensional looking. Now, when I compared the two textures side by side, I really noticed that the new textures looked sort of wet, like they were covered in fresh blood, while the vanilla textures kind of looked dry, like they had been sitting around for a while and got all crusty and old. Being as how when something violent happens, the blood would cause everything to be sort of wet looking, that whole dry look just wouldn't appeal to an immersive, conscious psychopath. Now, this mod is a great addition to the game for anyone who wants a little more realism when it comes to the more violent content in the game. I rate this mod the one guy who takes swimming at the local pool way too seriously. You call that a doggy paddle? You don't even look like a dog when you do it. Do you even swim, bruh? Listen, if you're not gonna take the pool life seriously, get the f*** out of here. And take your f***ing kid and his water wings with you. Now, this mod is quite possibly the most terrifying mod ever created for Fallout 4. It adds a wooden puppet boy that follows you around and creeps you out on the regular. He has a creepy psycho voice, and honestly, if he entered the room on a tricycle, I'd literally shit all over myself.
I want to play a game. Wanderer, up until this point, you've spent your life scavenging for goods throughout the Commonwealth. Now, your salvation relies on your ability to scavenge. Taped to your face is a block of C4 explosives. In front of you are multiple boxes. Inside of one box there is an envelope. Inside of that envelope is a photo. On that photo is a picture of my cock and balls. Glued to that photo is a pair of scissors that will cut your tape and free you from the explosives. Choose wisely, as my erection won't last forever.
Now, if you're feeling brave as f*** and you want to locate the Vault Buddy, you'll have to travel to Charlestown, which is near Bunker Hill. There you'll find a scary as shit abandoned house where the Vault Buddy lives. Now, I have to tell you guys, this was probably one of the scariest experiences of my life. When that little f***er came down the stairs backwards and tried to fight me like a puppeted, possessed 8-year-old, I just about turned off my f***ing game and said, nope, not today. I have one pair of clean underwear left, and this little f***er's not gonna take that from me. Now, this companion mod is one of a kind and really stands out. The story that leads you to the Vault Buddy, as well as the scary clues you have to venture through to acquire him, all make this mod a brilliant experience. Also, the animations that go with this follower are just fantastic and super creepy. He follows you, trades, waits, and talks just like a real boy, but he's as psychotically creepy as any boy-shaped puppet could be. Now, once you finish up the clues in the house, you'll be able to ask this little puppet if he wants to follow you around, which he will do in the creepiest way possible. Now, when he runs to catch up, I'm pretty sure he's chasing me with those tiny wooden arms and legs. And let's just say, I don't slow down. Now, if you don't ask him to follow you, he will just wander around the Commonwealth kicking the shit out of anyone who looks at him, which is hella scary. I rate this mod the one look you make when nobody shows up to your birthday party.
Are you serious? I sent out like 1 billion cards!
Now, certain things, they're just so satisfying in life. Like, for instance, when you unbuckle your jeans after a big meal, or a cold glass of OJ on a hot summer's day. But nothing is more satisfying than sneaking up behind someone and stabbing them in the neck with a homemade shank. Now, this mod doesn't actually add any new animations to the game, but makes the vanilla animations more common and accessible in certain situations. Sneaky situations. Now, when your enemies don't detect you, you'll be able to perform stabbing, bashing, and neck-breaking animations. All you'll have to do is sneak up behind someone you want to kill and have the weapon out you want to use for the murder. Use the normal attack key and your character should perform the kill animations. Also, there is a chance to perform these animations even when your enemies have detected you, which is awesome and a little more frequent than the vanilla animations. Now, the vanilla kill animations are actually really awesome and fun to use, but at least for me, they're pretty rare to see. So this mod gives you the ability to use the animations at your leisure in a very immersive way. Also, being able to stealth kill people is just about the most psychotic thing there is, aside from writing letters to people you admire in your own blood. Dear redheaded lady from Game of Thrones, could you please move your sofa 3 feet to the left? I'm finding it really difficult to see you through the bushes. Oh, and P.S. It's me in your bushes. I've been watching you for days. Days! Now, this mod is already a lot of fun and it's a great addition to the game, but I would love to see some custom animations in the future, as this mod really does have endless potential. So it'll be really interesting to see if this mod author adds to it in the future. I rate this mod one dirty little secret. My owner thinks I'm stupid. But joke's on him, I just saved a bunch of money on my car insurance by switching to Geico. In order to be a good psychopath, it's important to hang around with other psychopaths in the Commonwealth. Really understand the craft, you know? Also, if you want to be a perfect murdering machine, it's always best when your enemies don't see it coming. This mod gives you the ability to blend in amongst the different factions in the Commonwealth, so you'll be able to stalk raiders that would make good furniture without raising too many questions. Now, all you have to do is build a disguises workbench in any one of your settlements. Then craft the disguises that you want to use. Equip the outfit first and then the headgear. Now you want to wait a few seconds for the game to register the change, then you just go out and find a settlement with that faction, and nobody from that faction will be hostile towards you. However, if you do take off the disguise, they will attack you, and if you've been seen without the disguise, then putting it back on won't stop them from wanting to kill you, as they are aware that you are not one of them. Also, as a note, wearing a disguise will not turn normally non-hostile NPCs into hostile ones. Now, in order for this mod to work properly, you're going to need the necessary skills or luck to do so. For instance, for the gunners, you're going to need a charisma of 5 or higher, and to wear the uniform and combat chest piece, or they're still going to be hostile towards you, which is a very immersive little addition. Now, each faction has their own requirements, so make sure you meet them before you walk in like you own the place. Now, if you don't like the requirements, you can always turn them off using the configuration holotape. Now, this mod works on Raiders, Gunners, Children of Atom, Triggermen, Brotherhood of Steel, Robots, the Institute, Bugs, and the Railroad. This is honestly a really immersive mod, and it's a lot of fun to use. I would recommend this to anyone's playthrough of Fallout 4, regardless of whether or not your character build is psychotic or not. I rate this mod one guy who's covering up his nipples because he's ashamed of how large and in charge they are. Don't be ashamed. Free those nipples. Let the world embrace them. Now, this mod adds the iconic mass murderer from the Halloween movies to the Commonwealth, as well as his infamous kitchen knife that he uses to kill his victims. Now, if you want to acquire this outfit, it will be located in your inventory as soon as you load a save with the mod installed. Now, this outfit definitely looks a lot like Michael Myers from the Halloween movies, and this is one scary loner f***. Apparently, Mike Myers is pure evil, and when he's not killing people while they're having sex, he's starring in movies like Shrek, and Shrek 2, and Shrek the Third. Or I think that's another guy. Have you ever noticed that the killers never talk in these movies? I wonder why that is.
I'm gonna stab you so f***ing hard. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? Stop laughing at me. You're about to get stabbed in the face. Would you stop laughing? This is serious. You stop laughing at me. I am a serious killer.
Now, Michael Myers is supposed to be the epitome of evil. He kills his entire family while he's still a child, and then 15 years later comes back to his old neighborhood just to kill more teenagers while they're trying to f*** one another. Now, these teens, just to be clear, are easy as f*** to kill. Now, Michael Myers is one of those iconic movie villains. He's one of those guys that no matter how many times you shoot, burn, or rape him, he just keeps coming back. This mod is a chilling addition to Fallout 4 that may break the immersion, but it definitely adds to the shit in my pants. I rate this mod that one expression that just says, "Hey, I didn't know you could smell my lady farts." Nothing says scary like missing all your fucking skin, right? This is a really fun mod that lets you play as a skeleton in the post-apocalypse. Look how skinny this mod makes you. I mean, it makes you unrealistically skinny. If nothing else, this is every modeling agency's wet dream. It's because of body images like this that girls everywhere have a distorted image of what it means to be beautiful. This mod allows you a few different variations if you want to dress up like a skeleton or a zombie thingy. Before you're able to craft these outfits, however, you'll need to craft the blueprints for them, which can be crafted at the chemistry station. Once the blueprints have been crafted, you'll be able to go back to any chemistry station and craft the skeleton outfits under utility. The only outfits that are available for the skeleton are the ones that are craftable at the chem station though. This means that you can't just put any old outfit on the skeleton frame. This mod is very unique, and it can be a lot of fun to run around the Commonwealth pretending to be a skeleton or a zombie. To me, this just fits into the game really well. It might not be fully immersive, but I'm sure you could come up with a reason as to why it is. I mean, there's already giant scorpions and shit. I mean, a skeleton walking around doesn't seem all that far-fetched. I rate this mod 2 penguins trying to ignore the f***ed up furball behind them. This outfit is based off of the main antagonist in the Friday the 13th movies. Now, I don't know as much as I would like to about the Friday the 13th movies, mainly because I found out they don't let you back in the movie theater after you pee in your underoos. I'm sorry, Mr. Movie Theater Man. I'm not perfect. And sometimes peeing in my underoos makes me feel less afraid. Now, there are multiple variations to this outfit once you download it. Some of the variations offer protection, and others are just for show and they're titled cosplay. All of the versions are available in your inventory as soon as you download it. Now, although not all the different variations of Jason Voorhees are in the mod, there is still quite a few different styles to choose from, so you can go from being a confident murdering lunatic to a crispy one. Whatever your playstyle, really. I always thought it'd be a really interesting twist if Jason Voorhees was actually afraid of the dark.
Oh, what was that? Hello? Hello? Is anyone there? Keep it together. Keep it together, Jason. Keep it together. Hello? Is anybody there? It's just the wind. It's just the wind. It's nothing. It's nothing. Just keep it together.
Now, I did some actual research on the Friday the 13th movies to find out what the plot was all about. Now, it gets a little confusing. Apparently, it starts when Jason's mother started killing camp counselors because they failed to watch her son and he died by drowning. Then, in a twist, Jason wasn't actually killed in the lake, but he let his mom believe it anyways because he's a f***tard. He then goes around killing more camp counselors for killing his mom because she was killing them for letting him die, which he didn't. Now, if only they had water wings at his kids' camp, all this shit could have been avoided. This mod also comes with an axe and a machete because Jason really likes to stab and cut people with those objects in his movies. This mod even adds the iconic music from the movies so you'll feel ominous as f*** when you go around stabbing settlers in the Commonwealth. This is a great addition to the game. It's scary and unique, and it can be a lot of fun to just dress up like an iconic serial killer from the Friday the 13th movies. I rate this mod one surefire way to get zero respect as a police officer. Have you ever seen one of your settlers acting really unusual? Like, I mean really strange. Like, one second they're just chatting things up with all your other settlers, and the next second they're sitting in the corner cracking a cryptographic code in a children's puzzle book like the autistic kid in Mercury Rising. And you're convinced that Bruce Willis is going to come out of nowhere, grab him out of the crawl space, and save them from Alec Baldwin. No? Just me then, huh? Quick side note, Mercury Rising is actually an amazing movie. It's a beautiful movie about overcoming hardships. Like, for instance, Bruce Willis's character, he has to learn to trust again, and he makes an unlikely friend in an 8-year-old boy who struggles to interact socially. That same little boy has to overcome hardships of his own when his parents are brutally murdered because he prank called the National Security Agency and called them a bunch of strangers. And if there's one thing you don't do, it's call Alec Baldwin a fucking stranger. So the little boy and Bruce, they become friends and they finger paint and shit. And it's not weird at all because Bruce isn't a registered sex offender. It's like a Disney fairy tale, really. Now, we all know how frustrating it can be when you think one of your settlers is a synth, but there's no real way to find out without actually killing them. And if you do end up killing them, there's always the off chance that you're wrong, and all of your settlers will freak out and call you a murderer. Even though it's clear that Marcy Long's a bitch. This mod adds a special weapon to the game that really isn't much in terms of looks. Instead, it adds a weapon with an unbelievably useful function, which makes blending in as a synth a whole lot more difficult. The weapon that is added is a steel bat that has a very specific function that's rooting out those sneaky synth bastards that are trying to pass as your settlers. Now all you have to do is whip this bad boy out of one of your settlements, walk up to one of your settlers, and smash that fucker right in the face. If nothing happens but the settler lights up with blue electricity, then there's good news, and there's bad news. Now the good news is that specific settler you hit with the bat is not a synth. And because he's not a synth, the bat doesn't actually hurt him. So you can go around questioning your settlers and playing a really fun game where you try to wean out the synth. Now if you do actually find the synth and you hit them with the bat, their head will fucking explode. It's literally the perfect weapon for ridding your settlement of synths. I rate this mod 3 ladies who are really bad at applying makeup. No, seriously, it looks natural. I mean, you might have overdone it a bit on the eyeshadow though. Just saying. Have you ever looked at one of your settlers and said to yourself, why the fuck isn't that shitbag sweeping the floors? Or hey, that guy kinda looks like he'd be good at selling newspapers on top of a wooden crate. Well, now you won't just have to think those thoughts, you'll be able to turn those thoughts into actions with this mod and bring all your twisted fantasies to fruition. This mod adds several new mats and furniture pieces to the Raider Miscellaneous tab in the workshop menu. You can place these items down and assign a settler to them to do your bidding. There is a little something for any occasion. You got a mat that makes your settlers look sick to their stomach, another one that makes them feel really depressed or something? I'm not sure. And even one that makes them paint an invisible wall like a fucking psychopath. What you doing there? You painting? You painting there? Yeah. You know there's no wall there, right? Yeah, you're freaking everyone out, you crazy bitch. This mod is great if you want your settlers to seem more like slaves, kinda like the ones you'll find in the Nuka World DLC. Or at least for me, was the perfect thing to add to my prison to make the prisoners act more like inmates rather than settlers just wearing orange jumpsuits. Now, not having this mod installed is almost as bad as taking a shit in a public bathroom and having the tip of your penis touch the toilet bowl. Now, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure that's how you fucking die. Shit like that will haunt your dreams. You'll wake up screaming, covered in sweat, thinking, why the fuck did I have to tuck and sit? Now I'm probably gonna fucking explode. Now, we all know that the AI in Fallout can be frustrating, and it can be especially annoying getting them to roleplay in your little fantasy world when they only understand 2 commands. This mod ameliorates that ambiguity with your settlers and allows you to reallocate their disposition, changing the setting of your settlements and adding to immersion. This really is an unbelievable mod in the sense that it forces your once one-minded settlers to diversify their daily activities. I rate this mod 1 owl who just looked inside a closet and saw Narnia.
Nobody's gonna believe me. Not one person. No.
Have you ever wanted to make your own synth? Well, guys and girls, you're not gonna fucking believe this shit, but now you can make your very own synth with this trusty synth-making machine. So in order to build your very own living experiment with feelings and shit, you'll have to retrieve a schematic holotape from the Institute's robotics department, which looks just like this little fucker here. Don't worry if the Institute is no longer standing because you've made some very unethical decisions in your playthrough of Fallout. The holotape will then just be lying on the ground where the Institute used to be. The tape also contains a backstory to solidify its immersion. Oh yeah. Once you've got the holotape, you're gonna need a big space to put the fucker down on because it's big. I mean really big and wide. It just won't fit into some of your tinier settlements, not without a shitload of lube, that is. Once you find a suitable location, you can craft the lab under the workshop menu, which is located in the Power Miscellaneous section. Now, once you're done doing all that, attach that big thick bastard to a power supply. Next, you'll need to craft some specialty supplies at the chemistry station, including synth tissue and synth components. Make sure that when you're done crafting them, though, that you store them at the workbench before you try to generate any synths, as they'll only show up in the terminal if they're stored and not on your person. You will then need to craft a terminal and connect that little computer up to the power grid that's attached to the Synth Lab. Now, before you use the terminal, you're gonna need to scan a subject to model your synths after. I chose Hancock because what Subtleman couldn't use a few more handy cocks running around, right? Am I right? Am I right? Now, this mod really does make you understand a lot more about your followers. Like, for instance, I had no idea Hancock was born with those dirty tidy whities on. I mean, who knew? Guess we'll never get to see what kind of meat and potatoes he's packing under those dirty fuckers, because apparently they're just part of his genetic makeup. Now, once you scan somebody, you can choose to make one synth or generate a bunch of synths based on the amount of supplies you have. Now, the synths are not exact copies, though, of your followers, especially of your companions, because for whatever reason, they don't copy their voices exactly. They just give all your synths generic subtler voices. Now, this is an incredible mod, though, that I would recommend to anyone's playthrough of Fallout 4. I rate this mod one turtle who doesn't know how to swim.
Oh, I'm so f***ed, it's not even funny.
This may be the most unbelievable mod on this week's list. This mod, aside from being just about the most fun you can have in a video game, is a crazy unique mod in and of itself. This mod actually allows you to push settlers, followers, animals, and just about anything else that pisses you off. The push animation is spot on, and the way that your target hits the ground is enough to make any sane person die from laughter. I installed this mod and I may or may not have spent hours just pushing things over without rhyme or reason. This mod allows your character to say 16 different lines like "get out of my way" or "move," depending on whether your target is a friend or an enemy. The lines are picked randomly during the animation, but honestly make the act of pushing someone over all the sweeter. Now, this mod adds a push feature to the interface when you're within talking range of any NPC. The button for the activation may be different depending on whether you're using a controller or a keyboard, but it should still be whatever button you use to reload your guns in the game. Now, this mod is just perfect for freeing dumb Brahmin from a prison when they're just too stupid to know they're not supposed to be there. Get out of here! Be free! Be free! You're free now! Go on, be free! You're free now! Get out of here, you fucking Brahmin! The fuck is the matter with you? Go now, you're free! Go frolic! Go frolic and be free! You're free! Get the fuck out of here! This isn't a hotel! Go frolic, be free with your freeness. You're free now, you special guy. Go frolic and be free. Go frolic through the bushes. Now, this mod includes 4 different perk ranks. Rank 1 will allow you to push away companions or current followers. Rank 2 will let you push anyone on settlements, which are friendly NPCs including Brahmins. Rank 3 will let you push anyone anywhere. And Rank 4 is a combat push that will let you push any friend or foe. Now, this mod is fully customizable with its own holotape configuration. Honestly, I didn't think I could ever get this much satisfaction out of Fallout 4 until I installed this mod. It really is unbelievable in the way that it allows you to end any interaction in the best way possible, which is to push them down and run away. Oh yeah, that's really fascinating. That's really interesting the way that you're talking about that. See you later! I rate this mod one girl unconvincingly pretending to fall off a mountain.
Oh, could please someone help me? I'm terribly worried about falling.
This is a mod that some of you may have actually heard of before, but we still included it on this week's list because we thought it was one of those hidden gems on the Nexus that doesn't get a lot of attention. Now, in a place where you've got mutated people and radiated animals that want to kill your face, it's safe to say that the FDA isn't putting warning labels on shit. Before this mod, you could find cigarettes all over the Commonwealth, but your character had the common sense not to start up a bad habit like smoking when there's so many other things that could kill you. Last thing you want to do is get all strung out needing a cigarette that you'll start poking around Deathclaw caves because you heard there was an entire carton of rollies in there. Now, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I just sit there and stare at Trash Can Carla and think to myself, how can I be more like that? Well, now you can light up Trash Can Carla style with this mod installed. Now, you will need a lighter and cigarettes, but after that, you'll be able to smoke your health away no problem. When you are smoking, this mod will force you into third-person view in order for the animation to work. Don't worry though, it will switch you back when you're done sucking on that sweet stick of death. Smoking does have some side effects though. It grants you +1 charisma for 60 seconds, +5% to your aiming stability for 1 hour, and if your health is below 20%, it will slowly restore it. So basically this mod is the opposite of the real life side effects of smoking. Now there is a 20% chance that you will get addicted to smoking, which is pretty realistic, and if you do get addicted, you'll have -1 to charisma, because you'll be offering HJs for your next fix, and -1 to endurance, because you'll be coughing up phlegm to escape even the slowest of enemies. I rate this mod one guy who's really upset because he can't whistle. You know what they say, 2 guns is better than 1. Now I'm not sure who said that, probably some lunatic, but the point remains clear. Multiple guns make my pussy wet. Soaking wet. This mod adds the Jaeger pistols to Fallout 4. You can use them as a singular pistol, or you can dual wield them. The pistols can also be modified and have several paint options to choose from. Now, in order to get these pistols, you're going to need to travel to the Relay Tower OBD-521 on the edge of the glowing sea and track down the source of the SOS signal. The pistols will start out as dual wield, but you can split them at the chemistry bench under Jaeger pistols, but do note that any modifications or legendary effects on them will be lost in the conversion. There are also legendary versions of the weapon that can be found, as they have been added to the respective level lists. Now, dual wielding is weird in Fallout 4. It's strange and unusual, and oddly terrifying. It's like if Mickey Mouse and Goofy were debt collectors for the mob.
Ho-ho! I don't want to have to do this! Ho-ho! But I will do this! Ho-ho! Because I'm a fucking nutcase! Ho-ho! So get out of the way! Get out of the way right now! Oh, gosh!
I rate this mod one monkey getting caught trying to escape the zoo. This isn't what it looks like. Clowns are just inherently scary. Some clowns are even scarier than a lopsided nipple. Yeah, it's always been my policy just to not trust clowns whatsoever. Put it this way, I've never put my trust in a clown. And I've also never been murdered. Coincidence? I think not. Now, Sweet Tooth is a fictional character killer clown that operates one of the deadliest vehicles in his game space. His sadistic ice cream truck is enough to scare the metal balls off of Optimus Prime himself, as not only does it harbor deadly weapons, but it's the outer shell of a true lunatic in the Twisted Metal franchise. Maybe the most iconic character of the Twisted Metal series, Sweet Tooth will tap into anyone's chlorophobia. Sweet Tooth makes Pennywise the dancing clown look like a little bitch. Put it this way, if you saw Sweet Tooth in a sewer drain when you were 8 years old, you wouldn't be reaching into that sewer drain no matter how convincing he was.
Hello, Judgy. You want your boat back?
Nope, f that. You keep it.
But it's your boat. It's your boat, Judgy.
Slip it in the paper, you keep it, man.
But it's your boat, Judgy.
I'll just make another one. It's cool.
Put it this way, if Sweet Tooth showed up to your 11-year-old's birthday party, you wouldn't be celebrating a 12th. Now, Sweet Tooth may not have his macabre vehicle in this modded edition of Fallout 4, but he does foster his terrifying appearance and a big f***ing knife, in case his face wasn't scary enough. Now, if you want to acquire this outfit, you're in luck, because it will be in your inventory as soon as you download this mod. There are also multiple variations, so you can change up the color to suit your sociopathic tendencies at the time. Now you'll be able to go around terrorizing the shit out of people in Fallout 4. The only thing that would make this mod better would be to have a working version of his ice cream truck in the game. That way you could coax people in real close with the false promise of delicious treats, only to shoot a rocket right at their belly buttons. I rate this mod one malevolent slide that kills adults of questionable intelligence. We're here to mourn Gary, who died like he lived, playing on recreational equipment built for toddlers. He will be missed.
So honestly though, what did you think of my weenus? It's short for wooden penis. Just I was in the locker room the other day and let's just say I wasn't feeling so confident. So your feedback would really help me out.
This is actually a settlement workshop edition and a pretty sweet one at that. Let's face it, sometimes you just want to beat your settlers like a redheaded stepchild, but you lack the proper equipment to do so. Well, you can whip her like a little bitch no more, because this mod actually sorts you out. This mod adds the prisoner shackles that the disciples use in the Nuka World DLC. They work like the pillory found in the Contraptions DLC, bounding your settlers in one position, unable to move. So you'll be able to lock them up to walls and other shit. If you want to craft these bad boys, you'll find them in the workshop menu under Resources Miscellaneous or Raider Miscellaneous. Now this mod also adds a prisoner mat, which causes the assigned settler to just sit there with their arms bound behind their back in a perfectly right position for skull fucking. Oh yeah, take it to the face, stupid bitch. Oh yeah, you like that? Oh yeah, oh buddy, oh god, oh yeah, buddy, yeah. Oh. You can also craft the shock collar in the chemistry station, which I think is a cute visual addition. This mod does require the Nuka World DLC to work properly, however, it is an excellent addition to the game, and having a selection when it comes to punishing your settlers is always a welcome addition. Especially when your settlers are dumb as f*** and need to be slapped around a little bit from time to time. You know what I'm saying? I rate this mod one tree that just grew the wrong way, but just didn't realize till it was too late. Haha, you're a dumb tree. You don't even know which way to grow. Now it's hard to have a good horror game without the necessary amount of gore to go along with that excessive violence. Now if you want to bash someone's head into little pieces in realistic detail, you can. This mod overhauls the gore in the game, making it more realistic and believable, which goes a long way not only when looking at scary mods, but also when looking at mods that add to realism and immersion in the game. This mod is a lot of fun if your idea of fun is seeing brains and eyeballs in great detail after you shoot someone in the face. I don't know about you guys, but if I can't see some brain matter after I shoot someone in the face, I just don't feel sexually excited enough to spank my penis. This mod, combined with enhanced blood textures and live dismemberment, completely changes the way the game looks and feels, and can really transform this game into something truly horrific. But like in a good way, you know? Fallout has always been a gory game, however the gore isn't always the most convincing compared to other games in its genre. This mod tries to ameliorate that discrepancy and make Fallout 4 even more realistic in terms of gore. I rate this mod one lady who will only fart to the side. Watch out, people! She's getting in position. Thanks again for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to bitch slap that subscribe button like it's 3 weeks behind on your rent. Bitch! Where's the money, bitch? Where's the money? Where is it? Also, go ahead and hit that bell icon too, because apparently YouTube thought there should be extra steps. Why not, right?
I'd like to subscribe, but first I have to click this and do this. Oh, it needs an email. All right, and this. Okay. Just tell me when he's uploading.
Once you do all that, if you're lucky, at the stroke of midnight, a tiny little Averagebaters fairy might come and tickle your butthole. I hope to see you all again next time, and remember to keep on average baiting, baby.